Brooke Scholars, this is the way. Hey, we start our day. Hey, we got the knowledge, yup, to go to college, yup, but don't stop there. Hey, go anywhere. Hey, this is the way. Hey, we start our day. Hey, I said, hey, Brooke Scholars, where's the party at? Right here in these books. I said, hey, Brooke Scholars, what time is it? It is time to motivate to you. Good morning, Brooke Scholars, and welcome to Friday Word Study. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. It's the end of the. Okay, not yet, not yet. We're going to say that for the end. But happy Friday, friends. We're going to get straight into it. And first things first, we're going to do simple subject and simple predicate. So I'm going to set up my slate. You're going to set up your paper like this. Simple subject, simple predicate. We're not going to go over these right now because I want you to be thinking about which one is which. When I say the sentence, I want you to think about that rule that we follow. Which one do we find first? And then which one do we find second? It's a nice little rule that's easy. And if you don't remember, just try your best. And when we're done figuring it out, we're going to go over it together. So I'm going to read the sentence twice, and you are going to read it the third time. And you're going to figure out the simple predicate and the simple subject. Today's sentence is, the car honked to celebrate the college graduate. The car honked to celebrate the college graduate. Read the sentence a third time and ask yourself, what's the simple predicate and what's the simple subject? Go. Alrighty, friends, I have figured out the simple predicate, and then I figured out the simple subject. If you are not done, feel free to pause the video, and when you press play, we can go over it together. Alrighty, friends, if you remembered that the simple predicate is the verb, in this case it's an action verb, and you wrote honked, because that's the action that's happening, honked or to honk, I said I give your brain a kiss. Mwah. And if you don't know what a honked is or to honk, it means when you press, if you're in a car, you press the middle part and it makes that noise. That's called honking. It goes beep, beep. When you're doing that, it's called honk, or in this case, honked. So that's the action. And who or what was doing that action? The noun, car. So if you wrote simple subject car and simple predicate honked, I said I'll give your brain a kiss. Mwah. Awesome, awesome job. If not, no big deal. It's just something you have to practice a little more, and feel free to reach out to your homeroom teachers to figure that out. Alrighty, friends, next up we're going to find verbs. So, what is a verb? Well, before we even do that, let's set up our slate. We have verbs, and we're going to do 9 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we know it's 9 because we can also count by threes. 3, 6, 9. So we know there are 2 different types of verbs. So what are they? If you said that there are being verbs and action verbs, I said I'll give your brain a kiss. Mwah. Awesome, awesome job. You figured out the 2 different types of verbs. Now, Being verbs are verbs that we usually have up in the classroom, so I'm going to have them up while we're figuring out if there are any verbs in the sentence on the video. But what is an action verb? If you said an action verb is a action, great job. So I'm going to read the passage, and what your job is to listen carefully and think, are there any action verbs? Oh, I'm sorry, are there any verbs, whether they're action or being verbs, in this passage? Then you're going to read it a second time, sentence by sentence. Take your time. Are there any verbs? Alrighty, friends. Katherine Johnson is a mathematician and scientist who worked for NASA and was known as a human computer. She was a role model in a time when women of color rarely were allowed to have careers in math and science. She played a big role in getting Americans to orbit the Earth and to land on the moon. And if you want to learn more about her, I'm going to have a link in our YouTube, on the YouTube video, where you can click that link and just learn a little bit more about who Katherine Johnson is. So now your job is to reread the passage. Go sentence by sentence. Ask yourself, are there any verbs, whether they're being verbs or action verbs? I'm going to post the being verbs now. Go. Alrighty, friends, I have found a few verbs. Hopefully you have too. And if you're taking your time and need to pause the video, please do take your time. See if you find the same verbs I do. If you haven't, or if you are ready, if you haven't finished, pause the video and follow along with me. So I have found 3, 6, 9, 10 verbs. Hopefully you found 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. In this passage, there were actually a few being verbs, which is really exciting because we don't see them often, or we don't, well, we do see them often, but in the passages that I've been posting, not a lot of them have been being verbs. If you think about action verbs. So this is exciting, for me at least. So let's go over it sentence by sentence. Katherine Johnson is a being verb. A mathematician and scientist who worked. To work for someone or to work is an action. For NASA and was. Being verb, known. To be known, for someone to know you, is an action. As a human computer, she was a being verb. A role model in a time when women of color rarely were. Were is a being verb. Allowed. To be allowed to do something or to allow yourself to do something is an action. To have careers in math and science. She played. To play a role or to, in this case, she played a big role. Therefore, the action that she was doing is that she had a really big role and played that role. So to play in this context is it's an action verb. She played a big role in getting To get something or to get someone to do something is an action verb. And getting Americans to orbit the Earth and to land, when you land on something, it's an action. And actually, this one isn't necessarily an action verb. So if you didn't get getting, no big deal. There are a bunch of different types of verbs, but right now in first grade, we're only learning about being and action verbs. But the rest they were action verbs or being verbs. So hopefully you found a ton of verbs, at least 5. And again, if not, it is okay. Reach out to your homeroom teacher. That's what we're here for, to help you with grammar and help you with word study and math and all of these other great things. Next up, we have dictation. I'm going to say the sentence twice. You are going to say it with me the third time. Remember, our brains are like a muscle, like a muscle. They're not a muscle. We have a little bit of muscle in our brain, but that's besides the point. In that we need to do more work, harder work, in order for it to get bigger, in order for you to gain more brain cells, or get more brain cells. And it's important that we really, 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 really push ourselves to do harder work. And by harder, I just mean it's different. It's not something that you're used to. So I'm going to say the sentence twice, and you're going to say it the third time. I'm not going to go over the writing habits at first because by now we should know what the writing habits are. So I just want to see what you write down the first time. I want you to go back and edit your work. Go back and double, triple check. Do I have all my writing habits? That's for you to find out. So the sentence for today is Simba and Nala walked through the jungle every day. Simba and Nala walked through the jungle every day. All together. Simba and Nala walked through the jungle every day. 9. Go. Three. I'm going to double, triple check my habits. Hope you are too. Alrighty, friends, I am done writing my sentence. If you are not done, please pause the video, and when you press play, we can go over it together. So now we're going to go over the writing habits. First of all, were you listening carefully? Did you have Simba and Nala walked through the jungle every day? If you had all 9 of those words, I said I'll give your rain a kiss. Mwah, you were listening carefully. Now let's go over our writing habits. Did you start with a capital? You started with a capital S. Great job. Did you end with a punctuation mark? A period. If you did, great job. If you ended with a question mark, that is not correct. This is not a question sentence. I didn't ask you who, what, when, where, why, did. This is a statement. I'm literally just saying Simba and Nala walk through the jungle every day. So now let's go over, are there any other proper nouns in the sentence? Are there any names, specific names of characters or people If you capitalize the N in Nala, because that is her name, that is the character's name, and names are capitalized because they are proper nouns. I said, give your brain a kiss. Mwah. Awesome job. Now let's go over the spelling. Simba. I, sim, b, Simba. Now, if you wrote it with a U at the end, because U says great job. But I've seen this movie so many times that I know how to spell Simba's name. So I know it ended with the A. But if you spelled it with the U, no big deal. The way it sounds, you spelled it correctly. And is a hard word. Nala. Ooh, nala. Nala. If you wrote Ola, Ola, again, the way it sounds, you spelled it right. Nola. I'm sorry. Ola. The way it sounds, you spelled it right. But again, I love the movie The Lion King, so I know her name is generally, or the way she spells it, is Nala. Walked. Walked was another tricky word. Woo, woo, woo. Walk, walked. Ed says d. Now, if you spelled it aw, walked, like this. I'm sorry, friends. This marker is running out, so it doesn't look too good. I'm gonna just use my purple marker. Because AW or AU says walked, like that. Phonetically, this one looks right. I mean, sounds right. But when you think about which one looks right, it's this top one, okay? Through. Ooh. OUGH says ooh. You could have either even done EW because EW says ooh. But I know that this one looks right and sounds right. The, 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 hard word. Jungle, Jun, jung, jungle. LE says O, or EL says O. Now, if you just had something like this, phonetically, the way it sounds, you spelled it right, but the way it looks right and sounds right is with that E at the end. Every is a hard word. EVERY. Every. Day. AY says A. So my friends, hopefully you did an amazing job on that. Again, this was a tricky one. So mistakes are okay. We grow through our mistakes. So just make sure you're still just, really thinking about those writing habits and trying your best. And your best is always enough, okay? But as long as you're actually trying and you're actually thinking about those habits. So we already know it's a Friday, it's a Friday, it's the end of the week, it's the last day. So what are you gonna do? Brooke Scholars, it's on you. I want you to whisper to yourself or tell someone who's next to you or tell one of your teddy bears, what are you most excited to do this weekend? That sounds fun. Okay. Alrighty, friends. Hopefully you have told yourself or told someone else what you're most excited to do this weekend. Simba and I just talked about it. The one thing that I said is that I want to, again, like the weather's just amazing. So I just want to go to a place where there are lots of trees where I can just, bring my hammock and relax and have like a nice little view, see the green around me because it's very relaxing for me. And Simba said that along with that, he wants to do that too, but along with that, he wants to bring a little snack, a little picnic basket with us. So I think that's what I might do this weekend. I'm gonna go outside, maybe to some grassy area. There's a school right next to my apartment, and they have a nice little grassy area. And we're gonna lay out a blanket and we're gonna have some food. So hopefully you guys had also enough more awesome ideas about what you're gonna do this weekend, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, friends. Bye.